Hey, I'm Alec Miller, founder of Rose and Rogues, and this is Rob Norman, our producer. Say hi, Rob.
Hey, how's it going?
And we're announcing the title to our short film, Tycho Decay. And I'm going to minimize this. And here it is. This is our title. And what this is going to be is the first dev blog in a series of dev blogs talking about the short. And I wanted to make this because originally the plan was, let's do a full, as we're building it, lesson on how to build a digital short film. And that was going well, but it took a lot of time. So we already have the first one up. You may have seen it, probably not. I think 100, maybe 200 people have watched it. But it's the goal was to have this really in-depth, high production value edit. But then what I realized very quickly is that was taking time away from actually just building the film itself. So what we're going to do now is show you different parts of the film, introduce you to each section week by week, update you on how it's progressing, and then what we're going to do is as afterwards do the more in-depth view, and it's going to be a comprehensive course of from conception, script writing, all the way through to producing your own digital short film. But that's better for us to do once we're done with this rather than while we're building it, because you're kind of flying the plane as you assemble it. So today what I want to do is announce the name and then show off our main character, Anne. So here we go. And what's cool is as soon as this video is live, you guys are going to be able to get all this on ArtStation for free. So you can look through all this, you can download the wallpapers, and those will be yours to have. So yeah, the originally what started as a Dead Space fan film has kind of evolved into its own unique IP. It's obviously still has many touches, and as you can tell, Anne's whole armor design is obviously inspired by Isaac Clarke from the Dead Space series, but you'll notice some tweaks to her as well, some differences with her character. So obviously we started Dead Space inspired, looking at different what would it be like to have a female kind of main character, as well as what it would be like if she was a security officer, a little more lightweight, and more in a jungle setting, which is where this whole thing takes place, is on a cracked planet, but a jungle planet. And as we kind of went through, originally we had this idea for Anne to wear a poncho, right? It's wet, it's rainy everywhere, she should have a poncho. And so we were kind of experimenting with that stuff. But then what I realized really quickly was, if you had a poncho, you're not gonna be able to see her at all. You won't be able to see the armor or any of the design. And even if we made it transparent or translucent, it would be all fogged up. And so we kind of scrapped that idea and moved on to more of a traditional, very Dead Spacey look. There's a couple fun features. It's obviously more lightweight. The whole point is should be more mobile, and not so clunky as Isaac. Isaac's very slow. He's an engineer. He's got a blast shield. This is more streamlined and mobile. And one of the other things I really liked about this design is when we went to the material research phase. So in this phase, what we did is started looking at various lightweight materials, and we found some flight suit inspired stuff, but also a lot of carbon fiber. And here you can start seeing more of the inspiration from other areas where we get some Mass Effect inspiration, obviously the future later games, and coming up with some of the security/police look. And then a lot of this is going to be based on kind of carbon fiber / graphene, which is graphene's this future armor tech that's being worked on right now, and it's really, really lightweight but super, super durable. And so that was the whole idea, and you can kind of see the reference for each part of this really coming together. And so what's cool about this too is, I think you guys can kind of see how this is going to come together, right? How you could do this yourself for your short films. And again, we're going to walk through this more in depth, but for now, this is Anne. And so a lot of these textures are lightweight, they're easy to move in, but it gives her a bit of differentiation. And then Sam, our texture artist for this and our hard surface artist for the line gun itself, actually, our version of the line gun, he came up with this cool idea of having some accent color. And then especially if you look down here, notice on her hands. So she has some accent colors on her fingers. And what's cool about those is it lets her like kind of motion. You could motion and show. She can point at things if you're like in a group setting and you're running someplace. Having the fingers be a different color was a cool touch because it meant that Anne would be able to. I'm gonna bring up another image so we can see this better. That she'll be able to point and direct people, right? And if you need to get someone's attention and you need to know which way you're going, that's something that's going to stand out. So here she is fully lit. I don't think I've shown this off yet publicly either. But you can see all the detail we got in there. Here she is. Now she doesn't have any legs. And Rob, that's an interesting
ableist,
discussion.
man. That's ableist.
That is true.
I'm so unprofessional. I was going to derail the entire thing. It was like, no poncho, it's because you're racist.
Oh, no. Now I'm racist and ableist in one episode.
I mean, well.
Great.
The shoe fits. If the shoe fits. Yeah. No, so, yeah, the leg thing was real fun. We actually had... we're still working with Lucent Studios on that. And... Because now, what exactly was it? It was that the texture wasn't the same?
Well, what happened essentially is I thought I was being smart early on in this project. So this is a lesson for all you short film makers out there to learn. I thought I was being smart, and I was like, oh, we don't have a shot in our storyboards of her below the waist. We only see Anne ever waist up. So rather than paying an extra whatever, $1,000, $2,000 to my modeler and then telling him, hey, let's... make a full character. I was like, hey, don't worry about the legs. We're just going to be fast and loose. And this whole project was supposed to be a lot faster. We're 3 years in now, and it was supposed to be like, 1 year we were just kicking around the idea and trying to get the story and the storyboards together. And then like year 2 was going to be like, yeah, we just produced this thing in like 4 months and it's out. And it's ended up obviously growing to a bigger portion. And then once we started seeing it really like, how cool some of the designs looked, especially like once the line gun was done. I think that's the first thing we finished. I was like, the quality of this thing is so high and it looks so cool. And that video's up too, by the way, on our website is the line gun like turntable, essentially look test. Mm-hmm. It looks so good. I was like, everything has to be this quality. Like everything has to be this good looking. So then I was like, well, we'll spend more money on the design and making it look good, but then we'll save money by cutting her legs off.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's a term for that. I think they call it scope creep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you scope creeped it out.
But then to remove some of that scope creep, like, what if we just don't do legs? And what if we just... So it'd be like if you're building a house and you're like, you got one room done and it's like, well, we're going to use marble tiling and gold, like, what's that called? Molding, right?
Crown molding?
Yeah, gold crown molding. You're like, oh, this is so cool. And you're like, well, that one room just cost me $100,000. So we're getting 2 rooms. Passe. So you're doing 2 rooms in your house, but then you're going to be, those 2 rooms will look really, really good. So
forget the bidet. We can't have the bidet anymore. Toss it out.
Yeah, that was my mindset. And then I realized that was a mistake. I should have just got the legs done because now it's not like hurting us at all horribly, but I just wish I could see her leg. I wish I could do a render below the waist.
I mean, I think that's actually my job has been is to come in and be like, we don't have to do that. We can just keep where it is and people will understand because we're, doing this project ourselves.
Yeah.
But I do understand the idea of like, okay, we want to yeah, what the hell? Why the hell do you have a blanket?
He just jumped onto my lap.
But I was going to say, is like every episode's chaotic.
True.
That's why I'm here. Is that beer?
No, this is a milk tea. It's a Japanese milk tea.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
You weeb. Where was it before you derailed this conversation?
I just took a drink, and then you
tea.
Freaked out about it being a beer or something.
I was going to be very happy. I was going to say, what type of beer is that? Can I get that beer? I would like to try that beer.
No.
It didn't work. Anyways, I was thinking when we went into it, it was like, okay, here's the trying to figure out, because for me, my background has always been live action stuff. So doing animation, it's you could, a lot of the foundational things are similar, but then there are some things that just diverge wildly.
Right.
And so going into it was like, okay, we need to have something for her legs. We have need some more leeway with her legs. And that was trying to figure out, okay, how much is too much money? Do we do a whole new model? Do we just kind of wing it? And it's like, okay, we can spend a little bit extra. But it definitely is where the learning process comes into play, where we're understanding, okay, these are things that we might need next time, or that you have to plan out in advance.
Right.
In addition to knowing that there's other projects that we could do in the future that are not as intensive as this, simply because we won't have to worry too much about as much as animation or building modeling and all that.
Right. So what's fun about it is I do kind of get away with it. Right. So what's cool about you get a box is you don't have to work within that box. And if you notice, this is a waist. This is you can it goes all the way down to like her knees.
Are you showing it? I don't see it.
I'm not sharing my screen. That'd help. If you look, what's cool is we have waist down shots, but you just have the light fall off.
Yeah.
So you find find creative solutions, when you're doing stuff like this. And so, if you're someone watching this and you're like, oh, whatever, it's like, work within the box, like work within your box, cut the legs off with light, and then you don't have to worry about them too much. But yeah, what we're going to do is, match the thickness. So in that model that I was showing off earlier, with her rotating around, we'll match this, and then at least the silhouette will be correct. So while we won't be able to show the legs in full detail, we'll have to have the lighting fall off. The rim light on it, the background light, will still show if she's lit from the back, which she mostly will be in the film. You're gonna get to see some of that. Like, let's see, that's kind of a backlit. It'll look right. Mm-hmm. It won't look like she has no legs. You'll see the legs. You just won't be able to see detail on the legs. So yeah, that's Anne in a nutshell. And so that's, as far as I'm concerned, Dev Diary number 1. Don't cut your legs off, but if you do, find a creative way around it.